All right, here he is.
And I'll tell you a quick story about when we were on Loud Records. One of our label mates was a band called 3 6 Mafia, right? And salute to them. No disrespect intended, but they one of their promotional items for one of their albums was a blow up doll of this black woman that sucks you off, right? And they had invested in this, for their promo item, right?
One of the things that I love is when MCs make words that don't really rhyme by missaying something or cutting something in half or just somehow squeezing one thing into another or making like a multisyllabic rhyme. So these three words rhyme with these three words, something you would have never found in a rhyming dictionary, something you would talk about picking the right words to make this thing really sing.
Somebody who I look to for that kind of inspiration is Black Thought from the Roots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Thought will he just bends the pronunciation of words at will. You know what I mean? Just at will, and just it entertains you by doing that. You know what I mean? It's so many skills, to this, to compare it to sports. Is basketball, you dribble, you shoot, you block, that's the game, right? But when Jordan get the rock, or Kobe get the rock, somehow they doing something else. They bend in time. He's defying gravity. You know what I mean? And that's because of the dedication, and you get into that once again, that flow state, right? Where you're one with what you're doing, and it's not you thinking about it and then trying to do it, but you're allowing that. A lot of artists, when Thought is writing like that, Thought ain't sitting there trying to come up with a word to bend like that. His consciousness just delivers it to him because he's in that flow, allowing that to happen. You know what I mean? And when you get good at allowing, right, it makes it seem like you're a master. But what you have realized is that you're humble, and you let the creativity just flow through you. You know what I mean? As opposed to trying to control it. Yeah.
I mean, if we say like you talk about the core talents that you have to have, right? Like a ball player, you got to shoot, pass, catch, run, dribble, right? Like that's the core things. Okay, so what are the core things that an MC has to excel at?
The fundamental thing is communication. That's whatever way you do it, if you can communicate and people can resonate, then there's no limit to the ways in which you can make that happen. You know what I mean? But obviously, enunciation. You know what I mean? Metaphor. Rhythm. You got to be able to listen to feedback. You know what I mean? You got to be able to somebody tell you that's garbage, and you got to be able to say, well, why is it garbage? I'm curious, instead of getting offended or whatever. So you got to be open. You got to be coachable, right? At least by the crowd, if nobody else. I think MCing is one of those. It is a sport. It is an art. And it is a science. But the fundamental, for me, MC means mastering communication, and even what you do as a host and an interviewer, you are an MC. And you put words together that help people feel certain things and move people in certain ways. You know what I mean? And that's what it do. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Are you there? Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's do it. What's your top 5?
Top 5 MCs?
Yes.
Oh man, new or just all around?
Let's do all time.
All time, KRS-One is the OG. I mean, Pac, I think his impact on our hearts and souls is, Jay. I think Jay-Z is a master in his craft. I said KRS, Pac, Jay. In his prime, Scarface, master storyteller. Man. It's so many that would make the list. That's what I got right there. Thought is great too.
Who are the people, Black Thought? Who are the people who most inspired you to become the MC that you became?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, KRS-One, because I was able to feel like in the streets, you know what I mean? I was able to feel KRS-One like he from it. You know what I mean? It wasn't soft, it was hard, it was rugged, but it was so intelligent and it was so affirming, right? And it helped me in my own development as a man be like, these two things are not mutually exclusive. You know what I mean? You can be from the block, but be bigger than that. You know what I mean? And KRS-One, BDP production, the early days, they was killing that. They was teaching. They was the nicest MC. The beats was hard. They had the leather BDP, everything. Everything. You know what I mean? So as a young dude, I definitely was like modeled that stamped me because there was no excuse of saying something stupid on the mic and no excuse being a soft sucker at the same time. You know what I mean? You had to have both. So KRS-One was early, but I've been influenced by everybody. I definitely respect hip hop overall, and I don't think there's anybody in the last 20, 30 years that I haven't got something from in terms of, how they do it and I listen to it and it influences me.
The hip hop that you are best known for, that you made, had a real political mindset to it, and it made you feel as a listener that you were learning, that you were in the struggle, that you were, communicating on a political level. Did labels treat you differently? Did the industry treat you differently because you had this political revolutionary mindset to it versus the people who are like, yo, let's have a party, and there's no political revolutionary challenge to the structure?
Yeah, we definitely had some inner battles, like with the label around our content, and you know what I mean, and just the shucking and jiving side of the industry. And I'll tell you a quick story about when we were on Loud Records. One of our label mates was a band called 3 6 Mafia, right? And salute to them. No disrespect intended, but they one of their promotional items for one of their albums was a blow up doll of this black woman that sucks you off, right? And they had invested in this, for their promo item, right? And it was interesting because we were sitting down having a meeting of why we couldn't use the artwork for our debut album, Let's Get Free. Because it was, the picture of the Zimbabwe kids with the guns up. And they were like, oh, it's violent and Walmart ain't gonna want that and all this stuff. And we were like, no, this is a political statement. This is, you know what I mean? We're trying to put it in context, explain to these folks what we were trying to do. And while we were having this conversation, I see the doll folded up on the corner of the desk, right? And I'm like, how is it okay for that, the sexual objectification of a black woman, and that's just fun, and y'all cool with that, and Walmart don't care, and nobody don't care. But here we are trying to bring about an image that really reflect the spirit of our album, and we gotta censor it and put a sticker over it and all that. So we went to war for that. You know what I mean? It was not trying to take nothing away from 3-6, because
No.
different artists do what they do. But as far as the label trying to tell us, the issue is that it's inappropriate for the audiences, but this was okay. So that things like that used to happen all the time. We just didn't go for the okie doke, so we had to fight.
Did you win that battle?
Facts. And you know how we won the battle though? Because they were like, you have to put a sticker over the rifles, right? And they was gonna say it's censored and basically like clean, dirty version. You know how they try to do, right? So I was like, if we have to put a sticker, I have to write what the sticker says, right? And they reluctantly kind of agreed to it. And I said, this artwork has been censored by the powers that be for its political content. And they had to put that on it, which only made people want to see it more. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? You gotta be quick on the fox.
Did they bother you about your content, the rhymes and the ideas in the rhymes, or was that okay?
Nah, the way we spook who sat by the door, man. Like we understood what we was coming into. So the music we got signed with was not the music that we came out on Let's Get Free, right? We had surveyed the land. We knew our objective, and Mobb Deep and Wu-Tang Clan was popping at the time, and that was Loud Records. So we came in there with some demos with some music that was very similar to early Mobb Deep, early Wu-Tang, just to blend in. They didn't know we was affiliated with the Uhuru movement. They didn't know none of our political angle, right? They was just like, y'all spitting, and the A&Rs was like, y'all are talented, you self-produce, you got your logo, all these things. And they was just like, yes, let's go. And then once we got signed and they said, now let's make an album, we was like, okay. You know what I mean? Chairman O'Malley, come spit on this. You know what I mean? We was, that's how we had to do it to utilize that space. And it just so happened our song Bigger Than Hip Hop would kind of cross over across whatever lines, you know what I mean? And you couldn't take it back. You know what I mean?
I can hear that chorus in my mind right now, just as soon as you say it. And I haven't heard the record in a minute, but I can hear, the chorus is still stuck in my mind. And like, just the meaning of that phrase meant so much to so many people.